Welcome back. You're tuned into Startup Street. Now, Kotak Mahindra Bank has just launched Season 2 of its flagship CSR initiative, which is the Kotak BizLabs Accelerator Programme, and it is aimed at empowering more than 75 startups across India, with partnerships spanning top incubators from IIT Delhi, IIM Ventures, IIM Bangalore, T-Hub and others. It promises deep mentorship, catalytic funding and expanded reach into Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities as well. Joining us today to talk about this initiative are Rohit, Bhasin, President and Head of Affluent NRI and Business Banking and Chief Marketing Officer at Kotak Mahindra Bank, and with him, Himanshu Nivsarkar, the Head of CSR and ESG at the bank. Also with me is my colleague Arundathi. Rohit, Himanshu, both of you, thank you so much for your time here. Rohit, let me start with you. In season 1, we read that there were 1,500 or more applications and 32 startups ended up receiving the funding from Kotak. First, start by telling us, how the follow-on rate of these 32 ventures has been, how they performed, and the thinking behind now scaling it to more than 75 this time.
Thanks, Ritu, for having us here today. So look, when we started Kotak BizLabs Season 1, we just realized the real problems, 3 fundamental problems that we saw in the startup ecosystem in India. The first one was that 90% of the startups fail to survive beyond the year 5, and they don't really get access to strategic mentorship, markets and funding. The second thing we saw was there's a gap in the ecosystem, that the early revenue startups don't really make up to the product market fit, and they don't have access to quality acceleration platforms. The third key insight for us was that startups are not just a privy of the metros, but there's a huge hunger and drive and desire in startups in the Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities as well. What they just want is the platform. And that really made us, start Kotak BizLabs in the first season. 3 things that we are providing is access to funding, mentoring, and networking. And we worked with, quality accelerator platforms from IIM Ventures, NSRCL from IIM Bangalore and T-Hub. And we've, as you said, we've kind of got 55 plus startups who've got selected as a part of the first season. So we're very excited with the results which we've got in the first season. It's very early because we just started the first season at the beginning of the year. It's just been over 6 months. But we're very happy with the initial results that we're seeing the startups trying to build sustainable businesses.
Sure. Himanshu, let me bring you into the conversation. If you could sort of tell us what the key learnings from the first phase that you've learned that you've applied to Season 2's design and strategy, especially, when it comes to closing the gap in how early revenue startups are supported in India right now.
So a couple of things. I think one, we sort of expanded our presence in the Tier 2, Tier 3. So this year we are planning to do more in Tier 2, Tier 3. So that's one expansion of the footprint which is happening, which is a clear important one. The other thing was we started out working with 3 different incubators. Each had their own way of running the program. While we have not interfered with that, we have harmonized it so that a company which is sort of working with, let's say, in Bangalore with NSR Cell has a similar sort of an experience as a company which may be working with IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Ventures in Ahmedabad. So we have tried to harmonize the areas, and that's represented in the way we have gone about shortlisting the companies, the way we would go about funding these companies. So there's a lot more harmonization that has happened.
Well, Rohit, let me get back to what we were talking about in terms of 1,500 applications, but 32 funded. Of course, we know you have a process, but we're talking about a 2% success rate for these companies. What happens to the rest? Do they get lost in the process, or is there a way you're capturing the learnings or follow-ups beyond the winner circle?
So there's a light touch model as well as a more deeper model where we taken few of the startups and taking them all the way. So about 800 plus startups were given mentorship, guidance to our network from our 3 incubators that we worked with, wherein they engaged with them on a lighter touch model. And they still have access to the startups ecosystem, the incubators ecosystem that we have. The 55 startups which are selected and taken to the final stage are the one which will have a much deeper integration in terms of helping them run through the whole process and finally giving them access to funding and networking in the markets. But we have provided guidance to the 800 startups who don't make it to the next round, but still have access to the guidance of these incubator platforms.
Sure. And, Himanshu, we're running out of time, but if you could quickly tell us, we understand, Kotak's focus is on tier 2 and tier 3 cities, right? So how is the program structured to identify and nurture innovation emerging from these sort of less visible ecosystems? Founders in those regions often cite lack of access to serious investors. So how will BizLabs connect them to actual capital and not just mentorship or workshops?
So right from the selection of the incubators, we have chosen entities which have a similar philosophy, which is basically to take the incubation to tier 2 and tier 3 cities. We are doing a lot of roadshows in these smaller cities where we will spread awareness about BizLabs, and we will continue to engage. So it's not just that, at the beginning of the program, you do some roadshows and then you forget about it. We will continue to engage with these city-based network over a full year. So that way we will be able to get a much deeper sort of an engagement in these cities.
Rohit, finally, traditionally banks have been risk-averse institutions, and how does Kotak reconcile the DNA with supporting these what do you call audacious founders who may not fit conventional business models?
To our fundamental belief, which is our brand promise of "Hausla hai to ho jayega," is that doesn't matter if you're the son of the richest businessman in this country or the son of a chai wala wanting to start your own business. As long as you have an audacious dream, you have the aspiration, you believe that you can make something about your life, you want to be the partner that backs you into empowering you to achieve those dreams. That's our fundamental belief, which is our brand proposition. And we really think this is about bringing our brand purpose to life, making it the heart of our business model. Our purpose has to be about financial empowerment for all. Skewed financial growth is not going to work in the country, and we really want to make sure that anyone who has a dream, we can be the backing or the partner or the harness in helping you achieve those dreams. That's really what our objective is and our purpose in life is.
Well, that's nice to hear, but we're out of time. Rohit and Himanshu, we wish you the best with season 2, and it's been a pleasure having you here. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, it is a wrap on this edition of Startup Street. More news and updates coming up on the other side. Stay tuned.